Hey, well, welcome to a little chat about some of my impressions of living here in the Philippines. Sometimes I think that living here is actually more a question of letting go and accepting than of understanding. But anyway, I wanted to, as a title, I hope Beth has put the title that I want. She usually puts some other often bizarre, nothing to do with what I'm talking about title up. But anyway, honesty was really what I was talking about, and are Filipinos honest? And that seems to be a big accusation that can be leveled at Filipinos. Uh, I just don't find that that's true. So I can only give you my impressions, which is not given as fact, though there you will be able to go to various channels and they will give you their impressions and their opinions as if they are written in stone. And I don't think that it's true. It's different for different people. For instance, when I go out any day of the week and I go out and I know that I'm going to go to, say, Taliban, I just take it for granted that people are going to be nice to me. Now, I know that might sound a little bit whimsical or whatever, looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, whatever your favorite expression is for describing someone who is totally naive. I'll accept whatever you think. Well, I have to because I can't hear what you're thinking anyway. But if I go out, I just assume that people are going to be nice to me. And you know what? I'm seldom, if ever, wrong on that. And something happened to me yesterday which made me think I really should do a video on this for foreigners who are coming and expecting to have a life here. Well, the Philippines is a place for a foreigner to come and have a second chance. There's no question about it, especially if he is still able to bear children. Either that, or if he loves children and is willing to accept a single mom, of which sadly there are many. Well, back to you should be warned if you haven't heard me waffle on before now on any video. I'll warn you now that I do waffle on from one thing to another. But back to honesty, I'm trying to be very disciplined on this. I think the way that I've actually discovered is that people are extremely honest, and there's a couple of instances which, in view of how little some people at the real poverty level in the Philippines, and especially in the provinces, which is where we live in Bohol, which is a smaller island than Cebu. Cebu is easy to find. Bohol is right next to it, and life is very, very simple here. We recently made an enormous step forward, technically speaking, when we got our first set of traffic lights in Taliban. So that gives you an idea. We're not far behind, only probably maybe 85 or 90 years. So I remember taking some guys who were fixing our truck. This is a few years ago. Excuse me. And we needed a particular drill bit, and I didn't have it and they didn't have it. So we decided, well, we'll just go down to Atafi, which is the nearest even smaller town than Taliban, and we went down there. And to cut a long story short, if that's possible when I'm telling it, we went into a little Candelaria. A Candelaria is the even lower level of what the Brits would call a working men's cafe. So we go in there and we have, there's 4 of us, and we have a simple meal, and at the end of it I gave an ancient old lady. Now for me to say she's ancient, being something of an ancient myself, really tells you what she was like. Very old lady. It was a simple dirt floor Candelaria near the Atafi port, which back then was even more simple than it is now. And I gave her a tip, 20 pesos. It's, you know, it's not even 50 cents, but not to go around looking as if you're trying to look like the rich guy handing out treasure. I gave her an appropriate tip. Nobody ever gives tips in a Candelaria next to the port. Working Filipinos really don't do that, and it's almost inappropriate. Well, she took the money, and as she walked away, I could see that she was counting the money. And then she stopped. And then she came back and she told me, "You paid me too much. This is 20 pesos too much." Now, for that level of honesty, for someone who evidently would have had very, very little in terms of money, I was amazed. Of course, I pressed the money on her, obviously, but it reminds me of several other things. One, I was looking for some foam for a project that I was making, and I couldn't find sheets of foam. And in fact, you can see the piece of foam that I got. It's there, look. I still haven't used it. But anyway, after making several inquiries and explaining what I needed, I was directed to go to Ubay. And I went to Ubay, and I went to all of the hardware stores, and none of them could understand what I wanted and kept pointing me to other things. And finally, adrift in the marketplace, and I thought, I'll just ask this young woman that is on this little kiosk. They're selling simple snacks and things. And I went there and I explained what I needed. And she said, "Well, if you go this way," and she's, "Do you know Ubay?" No, I'm a complete stranger, and she'd never seen me before. And I'm a white foreigner, so I'd be very quickly known if I did live there. Anyway, she did no more than take her apron off and get her bag and said, I'll just show you where it is." So I said, "Well, you don't even know me, and you're going to take me somewhere and show me you don't even know me." And with my Manchester humour, I said, "I could be an axe murderer." And she said, oh, for goodness sake, who would want to axe murder me? I've just got this little store." And so she traipsed around the market, going to this place, going to that place, and we went to 3 places. This is someone, I have no idea who she is, never met her, and she's doing all of this for me. Now, I tried to open a conversation and say, "Look, listen, do you have Facebook?" Because I would have gone to Facebook and I would have done a little video, which is what I did, about this young woman. But she mistook what I was, my motive, and thought that I was hitting up on her, you know. Well, I was able to explain, fortunately, afterwards by producing a card, that I was a vlogger, and then she understood. But she actually turned me down. I know that that's not something that is impossible to believe. It's a few years since I could say that I would be able to chat some lady up in the street. But anyway, she explained to me, no, sir, I'm a married woman, and so it kind of shoots down a few things about people being honest and about women willing to do anything to meet a foreigner. It's really not. It's not true. In the province, it really isn't true. Finally, I said, look, I'm taking up far too much of your time, so let's go back. And I was going to give her some money. I didn't say that. So she said, no, do you want to try one more place? And we tried one more place, and they had that piece of foam that I just showed you. And then as soon as she knew that I had the foam, she said, okay, sir, you're okay now, so bye. And I said, wait, she said, no, you're fine. I said, wait, I need to pay you, for your time. No. And anyway, she ran off quickly so that I couldn't press any money into her hand. I bought the foam, and then it wasn't enough for me to leave it at that. And so I took a few hundred pesos, and I went back to the store where I knew she was, and I said, I want you to have this. And, no, absolutely not, sir. I just did a kindness. In the end, I had to put the money down on the counter and said, I'm putting the money here. It's up to you if you want to leave it or let someone else take it. Anyway, evidently she probably took it. So this is the kind of honesty that I have come up against. And yesterday it was even greater. Because Beth is on a new lifestyle, she is having a complete lifestyle change. She's been getting very stressed. We took her to the doctor. We had some tests done, and without blabbering the whole thing out, she needs to change the way that she lives. So what we've been doing is we've been buying lots of fruit, lots of vegetable. I've been using the blender, making smoothies, healthy smoothies, which taste beyond foul, but I've managed to persuade her, you need to drink these as if they are medicine, and they're every bit as bad as the worst kind of medicine, but she's drinking them. And we're also, up until when she had this last week where she's been campaigning to be a counsellor for the Burgos area, where she's been getting in later and going to bed at 10, sometimes 10:30. But we made an agreement that we would go, and I would go as well, and live the same lifestyle, drinking the same foul smoothies. I've no one to blame but myself, and doing all of that together as a couple. So we've been doing that, and we will get back to it after, I think, maybe tomorrow or the next day is the actual voting time. So then we'll know whether we are in for a particular kind of stressful life in local politics, but we'll have a look at that when it comes, and we'll let you know. But back to the honesty thing. So for me, you can see that actually it's a no-brainer for me that people here are always nice to me and always honest. Now, I go and buy fruit. This was the kind of the biggest one for me. But I went to this lady and the fruit is always good. Bananas taste great. We make banana and apple smoothies and other stuff, and so it's someone that I know. And now I go there and I pick out the fruit. I mean, there are big bunches of bananas hanging all over the place, and what you can do is you just go and say, well, I want this bunch, all of it, and she will weigh it up. She puts it in a tray on a little weighing machine, and you pay. Well, I went in the truck, and as I got out of the truck, I had 1,000 pesos in my hand to pay, and it was the only 1,000 pesos that I had, other than, in other words, that the only 1,000 peso note. So I'm walking towards the vendor, and I go and I get the biggest bunch of bananas, because when you're doing them in the smoothie, you get through them at an incredible rate, and I put them into the tray, and then I picked out some apples, and then I thought, well, what the heck, where did I put that 1,000? So I thought I'd put it in my pocket, or in my back pocket or front pocket. It's the only 1,000 pesos I know, so it can't be mixed up with any of the other notes that I have. And I thought, must have dropped it in the truck. And I went back to the truck, which is just a few feet away. And I guess the lady was watching me do this, doddering old fart, looking like he's lost something. So by the time I got back to her, a few feet away, I had no idea where the money had gone, and I'd given up on it. What else would I do? So as I put some more apples to her, she says, I think you were looking for this. And she hands me the 1,000 pesos, which I had no idea she had, and which she could easily have kept. And I would still be going back there buying fruit from her, because the fruit is good. So when you don't speak English, when you speak only English, and you're almost in the hands of those people that you deal with. And for me, I'm just not a person who can live with the thing of thinking that everybody is going to cheat me. So I assume that people are going to be honest with me, and quite possibly, I know that the more jaded amongst you, the more sophisticated among you will be saying, oh, I bet you're being cheated rotten. And that may be true in some cases, but I don't believe that it is ultimately true. And so I go, people are very nice to me, and they're always very nice to me wherever I go. One of the funniest things that people with Filipinos dealing with me, I went to Alturas, the big place, the big store, and so they have a supermarket, and they have a big store for clothes and for appliances and all kinds of things. And I went there because Beth was not able to go out and buy a dress for herself, because she was very busy doing some other things for something that we were involved in. Buy me a dress. So, what do I know? In spite of the heavy emphasis on the trans at the moment, I don't know anything about buying dresses. But I go there and I speak to a little group of young women who are salespeople, and I said, I had a blinding flash of inspiration. I said, can I speak to a sales girl who is 50 kilos? So I want someone who is this tall on me and is 50 kilos. So they don't think anything of this. Oh, well, let's find someone. And I go this. In the end, I have 3 sales ladies, one of whom is 50 kilos. and they help me to find a dress. I tell them the problem. My wife wants me to get a dress, and what do I know? And once again, I know that it's not because I'm this young, handsome, rich-looking, smart-looking, cool-looking guy. I'm just me, and so they're being what they normally are. They're being helpful and nice in the way that they can be no other. So they find several dresses. How about this one? How about that one? When I think that one of them, it might be the one, the girl tries it on for me over her. They have fairly tight fitting uniforms. She tries it on for me, and she did that with 2 or 3, and then finally I choose one of them or 2 of them just in case, and I go and pay, and they are so incredibly nice to me. And if you're going to Altoros and they're not incredibly nice to you, then it must be something to do with you. Did you get out of the bed on the wrong side this morning, as my mother would have said? So honesty, for me, I have to say yes. It does lead to another video that I hoped to meld in with this as a subject, and that is the issue of telling the truth. And because of, I won't deal with it now, but because of the attitude of non-confrontation, they don't like to confront. So if you say yes, they're going to say yes. If you say no, it's no. Because saying no to someone's yes is a no-no. I'm almost Filipino now in that. So on another video I will deal with that, because it's an interesting, to me, it's an interesting subject. But for now, thank you for being with me. I hope it will give you greater confidence in the fact that you are being treated fairly, especially if you're in our little town with its single set of traffic lights. Bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'd love to see your comments.